welcome back, or welcome if you're brand new. This is Yeah, No, I Know, the podcast. My name's Kristen.
I'm Brooklyn.
And I'm Jenna.
And today we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about college. Is it for everyone? Have you been to a trade school? Should they be more recommended by parents, schools, whatever? ROP is something I learned about today. Never knew what it was. So we can just jump right in. Did you guys go to college?
No, I mean, we both went to cosmetology school.
Yep, cosmetology school. I went to like a little community college for like a year, took child development, took art, but just to stay on my parents' insurance, not because I actually wanted to go to college. I never wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
I totally forgot I did the same thing for a year, only because I wanted to go to this cosmetology school that was through a community college because it was so much cheaper. And so but it was a lottery program because there were so many people who applied. So I went to the college, made the cheer team, cheered at like a couple of football games. I enrolled in classes, and then I was in Costa Rica on vacation when I was supposed to pay for the classes. So they never got paid for. So I got dropped from all my classes. But I got 1 PE credit. So technically, I went to college, bitches. And I took cheer for 1 semester, and that was all I did. And after that, I was tired of waiting, and I went to Paul Mitchell Cosmetology School.
You can take cheer?
Apparently, it's a PE credit. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So.
I love that. But
yes,
so,
we were talking about the ROP program.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that.
So something it's not widely known, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming public schools still have it these days. I, graduated from school in 2009. But it's where you can apply for the ROP program and go to school for half the day and then go to, I believe there's multiple trade schools you can do it for, but cosmetology school was one of them. And I was intending to go that route, but then by the time I got accepted my senior year, I had to choose between senior year of cheer or going to cosmetology school.
Yeah.
And my mom thankfully sat me down and was like, you know what? You can always go to cosmetology school. You can't get your senior year of cheer back. And so I decided to wait on cosmetology school. But if you're looking, for a cheaper route for a trade school, ask your public school if they have an ROP program.
Yeah, that's something I hadn't heard of because I feel like I probably would have been very interested in that.
Absolutely.
And speaking of which, I will just say I think it's so annoying how schools have taken, for the most part, I'm sure there's schools out there that still have it, but like auto shop out and wood shop and home ec, like they've taken they've taken all these classes like out of school, and I think they're really important because sometimes people don't want to go to college and they want to be a stay-at-home mom, and like it's cool. Like I went to a college actually that taught you how to make things and like how to cook, and like that's rad. Like you should be taught how to balance a checkbook, how to write a check, taxes, how credit score. Like these are all things we all need to know, and most college kids know fucking nothing about a credit score, how important it is.
It's almost like they undervalue it. Like, so then it makes you feel like if you do choose to do those things, like a grad school or whatever, or a trade school, that like you're less than.
Yep. That's how I felt.
Me too.
Coming out of school,
Yeah,
all my
we
friends
didn't go to college.
Yeah, I told
I went to the College of Hard Knocks.
I told my mom, like, well, I want to go to college. And she's like, well, why? You want to do hair? And I said, well, yeah, but I want to like join a sorority and be on a cheer team. And she's like, Brooklyn, that's not why you go to college. Like, you don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars to go just for the experience, even though it's great. But so thankfully my mom helped me out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure to go to college because it's like what you're supposed to do in like senior year of high school. Like, right? Everyone is like talking about where they're going. Like Jenna's hearing about this from her daughter who's 17.
Yeah.
And you can speak to that.
Yeah, so my daughter is 17. She's going into her senior year of high school. I have 2 kids. One's in college right now, and one is trying to figure out what she's going to do about college. But they're both just very, very different kids. My son has wanted to do what he's doing since he could say what he wanted to do. So I think that there is a time and a place where college is the correct choice. And for my son, Dylan, that was the correct choice for him. He went to a local college. He took some classes that he needed to like prove that he wanted to continue doing what he was doing so he could turn it into the college that he got denied by originally. He started his own company during COVID. He hired people. He started an LLC. He created a video game. He turned it into the college, and then they accepted him 2 years later. So that route, like, yeah, this boy wants to be here. He wants to go to this school. Like, absolutely, we support him going to this college. Now, my daughter, on the other hand, she has never really had a set goal or a set path that she wants. She's a jock. She absolutely loves doing sports, soccer, track. But as far as like a career path, we have no idea. It changes every month. So in that case, I've told her, you know, we're just not like at that place where we feel like it's a good idea for you to go to college unless she gets a scholarship for her sports. If she does, then we support that because now she's going to college for her sports. But I think the most important thing is to pay attention to your kids, who they are, what they value. Don't project your own insecurities or your own, you know, like life and the things that you wanted or things that you didn't want or the things that you want to prove, and use your children as that tool. Just know them and help guide them to do what it is that they're going to be best at growing up, because they will resent you later if you don't.
That's so good.
Yeah, because like, I mean, none of us went to college. We went to cosmetology school.
I dropped out of high school.
Yeah, exactly. And you and I spent our 20s, I feel like. You went to school early. I went to cosmetology school later. I went 3 times. I went at like 19. I went at 21. And then I think I went at or 22. And then I went at 27.
Determination.
25. Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I don't even think cosmetology was my end goal. Through my 20s, we were talking about how I was actually building businesses in my 20s. I just didn't know that that's what I was doing. I had a business, or not a business, but if I wanted something, I would create it, and then I would turn around and I would sell it. So I would make multiples of them. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go and get a business license or anything like that, but these big sparkly cases were popular. I couldn't afford them because they were like $100 or $200, so I started to make them, sold them at my friend's salon, called it Case Closed.
I love that.
And
So
then
cute.
sold those. I started a company, got a patent for a jewelry line for gauged earrings, which now Spencer's and Hot Topic both sell.
You need to
And they are
pull
infringing
that
on my
legal
patent.
card on
Yes.
them.
I
What
know.
the
We'll
hell?
get there.
We've told her
We'll
this
get
many
there.
times.
And then, yeah, I used to like order stuff online, like Rock and Republic jeans, Juicy Couture track outfits, like Xbox 360s, and resell them on eBay. So I think, like I said, I went to the School of Hard Knocks. Like my college years, and I was in a band, so I got the college experience through being in a band.
Did plenty of your keg stands.
Did more like tequila shots, but yes. And
I would love a tequila shot right now.
Smells so good. I'm still on my
gosh.
alcohol cleanse.
But yeah, so I think my 20s were spent actually figuring out that I wanted to be a business owner and that I don't fall in line and I don't want to be an employee, and that's okay. We need to have both. So
Yeah,
and I
what
think
did Ken say?
So Ken told me,
Ken's her husband.
yeah, Ken's my husband. I know you'll never see him, but I swear I'm married.
We've seen him.
He
He
exists.
exists, I promise. But he said that school, because he didn't graduate from he didn't go to college either. So school basically just teaches kids how to be employees, how to fall in line, how to follow instructions, how to memorize, how to do A, B, C, D. Get up at 8, go home at 5. You know, you just do your thing. But there are those people that rebel. There's also this thing on TikTok too, where it's like, if you have a fiery little girl, like, don't put out her fire. And I'm like, yes, because those are the women that are gonna go either really bad or they're gonna pivot and
their own
use that fire and put it towards something amazing. So
Little bit of both
again,
over here.
same. My 20s were, but it took until my 30s to realize that everything I was doing was building up to being a business owner and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love what Ken said. It's so true, because one thing Andy and I have talked about is that, you know, it's these kids, like, it's the norm. Like, you go to high school, you graduate, you go to a 4-year college, you get a degree, and then you find a good job and you're a good employee and get a 401k, and that's how you retire. And
There's exceptions to the rule too, I will say, like lawyers who create their own practice and doctors.
Absolutely.
And different things here and there. But I think, like, everyone knows that you're not speaking about everyone. But
Oh, for
just
sure.
wanted to
There are
say.
no absolutes in this world.
No.
No, and those people, you have to have a 4-year degree. You have to go to school for those things, and I commend that. And hey, power to you, because I couldn't sit through 4 years of college, or let alone like sometimes it's 8 or more. But I feel like so many people, especially parents, that's what they're kind of trained to already want for their children. And so then they start these like savings plans, and a lot of people, start saving for their kids' college. And that's not wrong and that's not bad that you want your kid to go to college. But like Jenna said, what if your kid doesn't want to go to college? What if your kid wants to be like Jenna and start their own business? What if they want to travel or buy a home or do something else? And so,
or be an actress.
There you go. Who knows? And so one thing that I love, Andy and I, what we've done is we have a different kind of savings plan, I guess you would say, for Jensen for his future, where I think those plans are called like, I don't know, they're like CO35s or something.
It's some weird name like that.
It's a tax code is what it is, but it's these college saving plans. What people don't understand is that if your child doesn't want to go to college or a trade school, then you can't, that money has to be utilized for that. And so if they're a Jenna and they want to start a business, you can't take that money and use it for that purpose. And so we've always wanted to give Jensen that kind of freedom and those options and let him know, like, hey, if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, then yes, we will use this money and you can go to college. If you want to do something else, like, we just want to make sure that he knows like that there's other options out there. Cause I mean, some of the most successful people we know didn't go to college, So
yeah.
Have you guys started, like, have you thought about like savings plans for Harlow for college or?
Yeah, I have. And I'm not really too sure. I invest my money and I just would pull out of that probably.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends what she wants to do. I have no idea. She's definitely a fiery little girl. I can already tell.
Oh, yeah.
She's my daughter. How would she not be? So yeah, I don't know. But I think like it's important, kind of like what Jenna was saying too, to like pay attention to your child and see like what they want to do, because try not to like push your own ideas or opinions on them, no matter what it is. I even feel that way about religion, like politics, like all that shit. Let them be their own person. Like, I feel like you can give information and see what they want to do. Obviously, I'm a brand new parent, so I haven't thought as much as probably Brooklyn has about it, or like the savings plans or anything like that. But yeah, I'll support whatever she wants to do. And I think that's a great option to be able to like not just be able to use it for education, and you can use it for something else. Like say they want to buy and own real estate and like be a property manager or like own properties. Like who knows what they want to do. So I think that's cool that they can use it for just whatever.
Yeah, I know.
I wish I'd have known about that, but
Yeah,
I know.
I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys have a question about them, that's like what my husband does. And we were talking about it earlier. Basically, they're like a private placement life insurance plans. And so there's a savings portion inside of it. The money's protected from the market. So it's always going to grow. And after 15 years, it's 100% liquid. So when he's 18, we have the control, like the policy's under our name. So I'm not going to like hand over like $250,000 to my 18-year-old, but it's projected to be like $250,000 to $500,000, depending on how the market does. And so what we'll do is we'll let him know that money is his. It's there for him. And when we feel that he is responsible enough to take control or ownership over the money, then we can put it in his name, and then he has full access to it. And it's kind of like private banking. And so, so if anyone ever has questions, my husband knows a lot about it, but it's, I think it's a great idea for parents for their kids, because then they have the option to do what they want with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just a thought back to kind of changing the but changing direction slightly. I was kind of thinking it's so crazy. Like people, like kids are supposed to know what they want to do for a career for the rest of their life at such a young age. Like you're not even legally responsible enough per our government to like buy booze. But you
to drink.
to drink or buy a pack of cigarettes even sometimes before you know where you're going. But you are smart enough and responsible enough to figure out just how you want to spend X amount of money for college, thousands and thousands of dollars, get yourself into debt and go to school for something that you are supposed to be doing as a career for the rest of your life. Like, I just think that's bananas.
It's manipulative.
It's crazy.
It's kind of this rat race game that I don't want to say it's like, ooh, the government, but I mean, it's just kind of like society. And it's if you think about it, it's like the banks and, these big companies like that kind of have their thumb over you for a long time. When you go to college, you have all this debt. You don't have money in college. So then they're like, well, here, we'll give you a credit card. So then you have even more debt and,
Just had an epiphany. I think that's why I never wanted to go to college, just because I felt like I was forced. Like, people wanted that. And I like to do the opposite.
Yeah, that's why you bought those ugly shoes the other day.
So cute.
I haven't seen them
what
yet.
were the ugly shoes? Oh, gosh.
She
I gotta
posted
see
about
these
these ugly shoes or something, and everyone hated them. So she's like, okay, I'm
I've
buying
never
them.
gotten so many responses on my Instagram in my life. It were these pink prison shoes, Balenciagas.
That's what Nick calls my little slip-ons that we got.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Oh, these are
funny.
even worse. But
I
they're
need to
so
see
much
it.
better.
Did you get them?
Heck yeah,
I need to see a picture, or I need to see them.
I don't have them yet. They didn't have my size. They're being delivered. So.
I love
We
it.
need to see a picture.
So funny.
Well, you can check it on my YouTube channel.
Oh yes, she started a YouTube channel
There you
that's
go.
like fashion, food,
Show you where I got all my
Nordstrom
stuff.
sales, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you too, like, so because you said you didn't go to college, you didn't finish high school. So what did you do?
So I dropped out of high school and I moved in with a boyfriend when I was like 16 and a half. Started getting tattoos, and I started getting tattoos because like I was like, I'm gonna work for myself. Like people won't hire you with tattoos, so I'm gonna get tattooed. I don't give a shit where it is on my body. These were actually the first tattoos I ever got right there on my wrist, Love and Lust. So I was like, I'm gonna get them where everyone can see them. I'm solidifying my fate as a business owner because that's the way I'm gonna do it.
That's where I started too, but I stopped.
Yeah, it feels like that's like the spot like you used to get tattooed.
It's like there's no going back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you start up here, then you can hide it. But if you start here, it's like,
Yeah, and it's like a cute little spot.
I think so.
So, I don't know. I didn't actually start my own business until I just turned 18 and I got my business license and I applied for a business loan. It's called an SBE loan. And I got that and I started a website where I sold body jewelry and like I made jewelry. And then after that I had a cleaning company
Kindred spirits.
Yeah, I like started a cleaning company. I would clean people's houses, and I didn't.
Can you
get to
come clean my house, Kristen?
I'm actually like really good at it, so I don't even have time to clean my own
I'll
house.
hire
though.
you.
She's retired.
I'm retired. So I had a little cleaning business, and then I started a company called Housewife to Sex Kitten, where we did like boudoir, like photo shoots for women. Like that was in my early 20s.
Love.
Yeah, and then I helped my ex-husband with his business called Underwear Society. It was like Netflix, but for underwear. Like you pay monthly and you get underwear in the mail. There's a bunch of companies doing it.
Netflix.
One of the original Netflix. Yeah, sorry, that was confusing. And so
Like it's a show. Yeah, underwear.
that could be popular actually.
It could.
So I kind of just did the same thing that you did. I just like worked on things that were my own and tried to like find my own way. And at the same time I was also bartending and I worked for a company and I just did different things like that too, but I always had my side hustle where I was trying to like make something, and it wasn't necessarily to become rich. I feel like I was just had in my mind that I wanted to work for myself. Of course, like as I got older, I was like, okay, I actually need to make money at this and like, whatever. But that was like, I just didn't ever really do well working for somebody. It just wasn't, I don't do well with schedules. I hate schedules. Like if I have to get up at a specific time every day or like I have an appointment or whatever, I feel trapped and confined and I get anxiety about it. So I've been lucky enough, with my company to sell it last year, basically retire. And like I do YouTube and stuff now and invest in real estate and stuff like that. But I love it. I'm just so grateful to not have to go to a 9-to-5 and stuff. And that may change. Money comes, money goes. You never know what's gonna happen. But I feel like we're definitely did kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's just so funny that like all three of us, like none of us went to college, and And I saw
We're doing just fine.
I know. I saw my friends all go to college, and I remember, kind of like you said, Jenna, like they shame you for it at first. Like,
Well, they didn't shame me.
no, not my friends.
Yeah.
Not my friend, but like society almost makes you feel somehow.
You have that shame on yourself almost.
Yeah,
It's
you're
when
feeling
everybody
like-
walks up to the podium and says
So
what college they're
ridiculous.
going to, and you're like, undecided.
Yeah,
I'd
I
have been
know.
like, college of kiss my fucking ass. You're going to be working for me someday?
Can we normalize
Yes.
not saying that at the podium, please?
Seriously.
High schools.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's
I don't
horrible.
like
I would
it.
love someone to go up there and just be like, I'm going to be a stripper. Thank you.
I would
like-
love that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just super weird.
Fans only.
Right? Fans only.
Fans only. Have you
Here's
guys
my
heard
link.
of it?
Yeah.
Say your
my
link
God.
on. Oh my god. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. So I guess I would love to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think about college? Do you have kids that are in college? Did you have kids that don't feel like college is for them? Like, I'm just curious, like, where everyone stands with kind of like their idea and outlook on like college, school, and kind of all the stuff we talked about, like all the pressure that kids have to like figure out like what they're going to do and where they're going to go. And I just think it's absolutely, I'll say it again, I think it's absolutely crazy that kids are supposed to know what they're supposed to do for the rest of their lives when they're that freaking young.
I know. I really hope that we do start normalizing like you don't
Trade
have
schools.
trade schools, or like you don't, or like travel for a year or two.
Just about to say, go
Figure
fucking
yourself
travel.
out. Like I wish I would have done that. Like I sort of took a year off, like because I just cheered. I didn't really go to school, but I wish I would have like traveled and done something and just like found myself a little bit more, you know, and or had those experiences. And like I think people used to judge like, oh, my kid's taking a year off school and not do anything. They're traveling, and it seemed like the hippie thing to do. But
Almost like
actually,
you failed as a parent.
right? I would encourage it. I'd be like, hey, like you don't have to know right now.
No, and I feel like going to college should be the exception. Like
Yes.
it seems like it's the rule right now. Like you graduate, then you go to college, where the only people that should be going to college are the people that know without a shadow of a doubt what they want to do, and they've been wanting to do it for a very long time.
And you need
That
a
is what
degree
college
for
is
it.
for, and that you need a degree for it, or you just want to continue your education, which I think is totally fine too. Like if you want to go to school to do, or go to college to do something, and you don't need a degree to do it, but you know you want to do it, then go for it. You know what I mean? Like if it's worth the money to you, do it, or your parents. But it's like everyone is expected to go to college, and that's just so warped to me.
There's
like,
also community college.
I was
like,
just gonna
Yeah.
say that.
like
feel
I don't know if it's free or cheap or what, but like
Yeah.
it is not as expensive as going to you know an Ivy League college
it's like,
or something.
It's like looked down upon or kind of like shamed. Like
Yeah.
you're going to community college. It's
don't
like
let that. Yeah.
every
well, and then once you get into the college world too, there's levels.
yeah.
It's not even like, oh, my kid made it to college. Okay, what level is that college? Is it a D1? Is it a D2?
UC?
Is it a UC? Is it a this? I mean, it just keeps going. The
Yeah.
judgment and the pushing and the like. You know, like my daughter's trying to like wants to get in for a scholarship, but it's like if she doesn't get into a D1 school, then it's like, what's the point of her going for sports? Because there's just no point. Like she'll be good at a certain level, but at that certain level, you're not going to make a career out of it. So the whole thing is. It feels almost manipulative to me.
And if
honestly.
I'm not mistaken, aren't all colleges the first 2 years just general ed? So it's the same whether it's at a D1 or a community college.
I
like
think it depends on the school. Like I know my son, he's not at a trade school, but it is a video game design school. So I don't know exactly what that falls under, but it's the
it's more niche. It sounds like a little bit.
yeah, like the owner, one of the co-founders of Nintendo founded this college.
that's
So, and they do
Yeah,
like
rad.
job placement and stuff, but I know that he jumped right into what he was supposed to do, but he did take classes before that to
At
get
the
some of
community
those things
college.
out of the way.
yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know. All I do know is that there is a part of me that was like, I always said my dream in life is to like be a Southern belle. So like, I wish I could have like been that girl to like go to like Alabama and like be on the cheer team and like roll tide. And
What's roll tide? What's that mean?
oh, it's
Andy's not gonna let me be friends with you anymore.
Oh gosh.
It's Alabama. It's like the South, like schools in the
I've even asked
South
you
are
this
like,
before.
yeah. I think it's
Is he from the South?
SEC. His family's from Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. So Roll Tide is like that's their school thing. They say Roll Tide, Alabama.
Okay.
The Crimson Tide. That's
one of the
like their-
bachelorettes was saying it all the time too. Somebody's
Hannah.
and on Jane the Virgin.
Ah.
Oh, did not watch that. Yeah. So I will say, I wish I could have like had that cheer, like real cheer. Like I went to community college for 1 year and cheered there. It wasn't like the competition that I did that in high school, but not in college. I wish I could have done that. That would have been really fun.
Yeah.
I would have been like the captain or leader, whatever you call it, like the sororities. I don't know what you call it.
She would have been the drunk bitch at every frat party.
I would
on the tables.
So the funny
that would have been
thing-
amazing.
So Andy did have that college experience with his buddies, and the first time we went to Havasu, they used to call it like Fulmer Fest because their best friend last name was Fulmer. Anyways, that was every spring break. That's what they did, and so they were all joking. I was like, I never got to go to like spring break, like as a college kid and like do a keg stand. And so at some point we were joking around and they were like saying like, you know, spring break, whatever, like Brooklyn's first spring break and like do your keg stand. Yeah.
Did you do it?
I don't think we actually had a keg, but I think they did maybe the hose
beer
thing.
Yeah.
Like upside down.
Beer bong?
We did
Beer bong.
something where they made me feel like I was in college. It was pretty fun.
Nice. I definitely missed out on the college experience, and I'm kind of bummed for that because I feel like people have like lifelong friends from that,
right.
You know, that they're still friends with. And like, I was just being a loner, like trying to make a business and do my shit. And yeah, I didn't really ever create those friendships that lasted for a very long time.
Well, people don't understand you.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like nobody really got me in my 20s. Like,
no, they're like, you're starting a business. Like, what? You got a business loan?
Or just like what you'd rather be spending your time doing. Like, you don't want to go out. You don't want to, you know.
I was like, I have orders to ship out.
You had kids too. So
I had kids
totally
on
different.
top of that too.
Yeah,
but I mean, it didn't
insane.
make your friends expect you not to go out with them.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true.
But,
Even now at 31, they still expect me to go out. I'm like,
oh, I was gonna say
no,
nobody asked me to go out anymore.
oh no. Well,
no.
I'm
But
like
you know
the
what's
first of my
funny?
friends to have kids. So
That's our personality, though. We're kind of grandmas. Like, we don't really go out. Like, I get tired going out.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of fit hand in hand that I went out a little bit, and I lived in Hollywood. I lived on Hollywood Boulevard. Like,
me
but
too.
but I just didn't like party a lot. And so it kind of went hand in hand. I like had to figure out something else I was going to do with my time.
yeah. And I mean, looking back, I don't regret it because in the moment I felt the shame of like, oh, my friends are all going to college. Like I'm stuck in this same town and they're all off doing other things. But I finished way before they did. I finished and they still had like 2 more years of school. And I started my career and started making money sooner, moved out on my own, like supporting myself rather than like in a dorm where, you know, mom and dad were paying for the dorm fees. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I got on my
good about
feet
yourself
a little
for
bit
that,
faster.
yeah.
And I was proud of that, you know, so
Yeah.
may have missed some frat parties, but
It's probably a good thing.
it was probably God's grace that I wasn't a sorority girl.
I would love to see that, though.
I can see it every time we like go places or you drink. You do
The woo girl?
Yes, you are a woo girl.
Oh, I'm a woo girl.
But you also every time like somebody like has a camera or a video, you do the arm lift. Every time. Yeah,
Really
every time
funny
you like
is I can't straighten
Every
my
time.
arm right now because my trainer worked me
Doing
out.
hand jobs.
No, it's my bicep. Okay, I was doing these like pull-up things, but it got my
Sure.
bicep. So this is as much as I could.
I
I'm
noticed it at first at when I was doing her shower, the recording.
Oh.
Every time I would move the camera towards Brooklyn, her arm would pop up.
Oh, I'm a
It's
woo
such
girl.
a cheer thing too, right?
Cheerleader, woo girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just own it. I am.
Mhm.
This is like me
Love
as
it.
an emoji. It's the hand up. Like, is this going to be the screenshot, Jenna?
I love it. Well, what do you guys think about everything? Tell us your opinions down below in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you guys have any topics or episodes or relationship advice that you would like, email us or comment below with your suggestions. We always are looking for new like shit to talk about during our episodes. So let us know.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for listening, you guys, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Nothing in this podcast is being claimed as fact. Most everything discussed here are our own individual, personal opinions, beliefs, and experiences. We encourage you to always do your own research and form your own opinions. Nothing one person says on this podcast goes for everyone here. Each individual speaking is speaking only for themselves and no one else on the podcast. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started.